Right then, this is the return to Sofia adventure. Let's go and explore Sofia in 2022 and see what I'll find. And let's start off with an update to the metro system. And they've now added these very weird vertical platform doors to the metro. I've never seen such strange looking platform doors. And now we go along to some classic tower blocks, which has some awesome lifts without inner doors. But on these lifts, you have to have an RFID card to make the lift move, meaning that these lifts are only for residents. But I still managed to get a ride in them.
That is not safe. That is not the slightest bit safe. Nice lift though. Stops at the floor. Doesn't stop at the floor. Not bad.
And one thing that a lot of travel guides on YouTube and online do is they spend a lot of time talking about food, although sadly this is just about restaurant food and local delicacies and stuff like that, which I've got no interest in. But what I do have an interest in is supermarket food and how it compares to England, such as things like the price and difference in products. I do find that very interesting. So let's take a look at what I brought for lunch and how much it cost me.
So this here cost me £3.50 from a train station supermarket. Not even a cheap out of town supermarket, this is the train station supermarket, all at £3.50. So that there is £1, which is equivalent Cadbury fingers in England. It'd be £1 when special offer, but the price varies and often it's like £1.50. So that's a bit cheaper depending if there's offer. That is 25p. That is cheap. That here is like a pizza bun, that's 50p, that's about your going rate. This cheese here was £1, which is, I guess, kind of going rate for England, maybe a bit cheaper in England. These here are 50p for a bag of nuts. That is definitely a lot cheaper in England. And a bottle of water is 20p, which is the going rate from a big supermarket. But from a smaller train station supermarket, you'd usually pay over £1 for water at big.
And now go along to the place where I was staying. This place is the Ivory Tower Hostel, and this place costs just £13 per night. And this room is a 4-bed bedroom, and this is not a dorm. I had this entire room to myself for £13 a night. That is good value for money. And now go along to the hospital. This hostel has some very epic lifts. Now to the first one, which is an awesome old service lift, which does not have inner doors. This lift is nice.
Wee! Look at that ceiling! Wow! So old.
And now go along to a glass lift in the centre of one of the departments of the hospital. This is a hydraulic side chassis lift and is one of those classic floating lifts. And this lift, two sides of what would be the lift shaft are shaftless, giving it a floating look. Although when I say two sides, they've sort of made these two sides in sort of a curve. So this is a very interesting shaftless lift. And now along to another epic inner doorless service lift. This lift is epic. Now, in the centre of Sofia, there are these water fountains, and a lot of people come here and fill up water bottles, even though everyone in Sofia has running tap water, which is drinkable. So I'm not quite sure why so many people are filling up water bottles. Is it because they don't have tap water, or tap water's not good enough? I think it's because this is natural spring water, so a higher quality than the tap water. Is this surprising seeing how many people are filling up massive bottles of water from this water fountain? And now I go along to the Hilton Hotel. This hotel has got some Thyssen lifts, which are currently in the process of being modernised with cone LCE. Some of the lifts are original and some of them are modernised. First to the original ones. And now to the modernised ones. Continuing with how supermarkets and food differ in Sofia to back at home, let's take a look at what I had for lunch on the second day here, and let's see how much it cost.
So for comparison of Bulgaria prices, that all came to £5.80. Peach-free thing was 75p, that's usually about £1 or £1.20 in England. Vitamin drink was 70p, that was very cheap, that'd be about £1.50 for a whole litre in England. That's 20p, that's about the same. That's £1.50 in England, that's £2.50 on a good offer, often it goes for like £3 or sometimes £4. This you can't get in England, this is nice chocolate. In Germany this is like £1.20, over here this was about 65p. And that is posh cheese, that's the most expensive thing I got, that was about £1.80.
And now I go along to a building which I've decided to call Lift City. This building is really nice because this building has loads and loads of lifts. Now this is a big building, but it's got so many lifts here, more lifts than what's needed for this building. It's like a perfect paradise for a lift enthusiast. And all of the lifts here are Schindler 5500 lifts. First we go to the glass lifts in the atrium. This building's got 28 floors, but these lifts only go up a few floors in the reception area. And now we go to the lifts up to the conference rooms. These lifts go 1.6 meters a second. And now we go to the glass restaurant lift. This lift stops at all floors, but these are all disabled as this lift is used for non-stop rides from the ground floor up to the top floor. This is a really large Schindler 5500 and it's got Schindler's largest 5500 motor, which usually goes 3 meters a second. Because of the size of this lift, it goes 2 meters a second. And in this building has two separate sets of main lifts. Let's take a look at one of these sets. These have got some really epic Schindler 5500s. This lift goes 3 meters per second. And there's also a service lift here. Let's take a look at this. And now we go to the second set of main lifts in this building. This lift goes 3 meters per second. And in this building is even more lifts. There's a second set of service lifts. Sadly though, I wasn't able to make his lifts move. So then, let's now go along to a very posh hotel and take a look at the lifts here. The lifts are Otis. And now we go to the next hotel. Oh, I love music in these lifts. So acceleration. Good idea.